Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens here on Sunday. Just less than 24 hours ago, the North Bay Trappers defeated the Sudbury Nickel Capitals, both U18 teams, 5-1. And we're right back at the rink again here today on Sunday, but a little bit of a change-up. I do have, instead of Bob Coles on my color, I have Mr. Chris Dawson, who we were talking about a little bit on the broadcast yesterday. But before we get to Chris's thoughts, let's go into our pregame show.
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahuertaimports.com for more details.
All right, Chris, you're a little bit biased of this one, of course, but at the same time, we appreciate your honesty. What did you like about yesterday's game with the Trappers taking away the victory from the Capitals?
I think the Trappers used their transition game effectively, and they're a big body. There's a lot of kids, almost junior-sized on this team, and they like to use their physical presence and the transition game. Defensemen like John Couch and Aiden Thomason and Davis Anello in particular, all three of them, did a real good job getting pucks out, and real good transition game led to a number of goals. And I think discipline's going to be a key one too. I know the Trappers can get off the rails a little bit sometimes too, because they got some physical players that don't like to be pushed around. But I think that's going to be the key to Sudbury. They really ran into a lot of penalty troubles getting into. I think a little bit frustrated, Courtney. They've scored 1 goal in 3 games in Great North Midget League action, playing 2 games so far against the U18 Trappers and 1 against a really good U18 Sioux Greyhounds team. So, I think they're going to want to keep that physicality up, but certainly things like slew foots and roughing and fighting penalties are something that I'm sure the coaching staff is not going to want to see happen today here on Memorial Gardens ice.
No, and that was kind of one of the things too yesterday. The game did get a little bit chippy, but now let's take a look at our players to watch here and who we have our eyes on.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
So, Chris, I'll get you to go into it a little bit more in detail, but so far the 2 players we're looking at, number 92 for Sudbury, Sam Levesque, and number 56 in goal, Michael Cash Money McIver. Take us through those guys, Chris.
Well, I think Sam Levesque was a kid who had a really good second half to his season last year with the U16 Nickel Capitals. Was likely a guy that was really on the cusp to make that NOHA All-Star team, with his solid second half, but he's definitely a guy that they're going to be having to rely upon, playing on a line with Caden Dubroy, who's their a little biased with that one for me as well with Caden, but Caden is Caden and Levesque, that line is going to have to do some damage, and of course Mike McIver, battalion draft pick. It's tough to find a spot for a 16-year-old. There's only 2 cards for every junior A, B, or C team in Ontario, and the Trappers are very fortunate enough to have Mike McIver here as their goaltender. And I think in 2 games now he's had 60 shots in Great North Midget League action and allowed 1 goal. And I think he made 3 saves before that 4th shot by Caden Dubroy finally broke the seal and broke his shutout streak. So he's definitely a very athletic goaltender. Catches from the left side, not the right side, and you could say the left side's better than the right side, but I might be biased again because I'm a southpaw. But you know what? You talk to a lot of shooters, and it's not that common that you see a left-handed goalie, but you see a lot of left-hand shots. And a left-hand shot likes to go high blocker. Well, when they're shooting on Mike McIver straight on, that's high glove, and Michael McIver has very good hands. And as you'll see today, he does not allow a lot of rebounds.
No, he doesn't at all, and he looked great in yesterday's game, and we're going to get to O Canada now, but first let's thank our period sponsor.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And it is a bit of a different looking goal for Sudbury in this one with Kieran Ouellette in net. But Chris, you have a couple of hats on today. You got your father's cap on by watching Caleb play. You got your frontline debut cap on, being color analyst for this game. And you also have your Powassan Voodoo's general manager hat on today because there's a whole whack ton of Powassan Voodoo's affiliates in this game.
Yeah, there's a handful, and a couple of them. Heath Bradley got his first goal coming off of suspension. He's a player, another real solid player for this Trappers team. On defense, his twin brother Grayson making his debut coming off of suspension. And then you have John Couch and Davis Anello, the top pairing as well. And Nate Gravel up front, Caleb Dawson as well, and then the captain who's played a couple games and played throughout training camp with the Voodoos, Justin Russo, and he's another player to watch for the Trappers. He hasn't scored a lot, but he's set up a lot of nice plays because he's such a hard worker and goes to the dirty areas for pucks.
Yeah, he got our eye yesterday for sure on a couple of the plays that he made as we're quickly underway with a quick shot on McIver. Puck now back behind his net. Sudbury coming out with a little bit of energy today after dropping yesterday's game 5-1. And the Trappers finally break out of their zone and get going with Anthony Boyes trying to get down there to beat out the icing. But icing is still the call. So when you come in, describe this for maybe somebody that might not know. When you talk about affiliate players, is there a cap to how many games they can play?
There's a cap for 16-year-old players, 16 to 17-year-olds. They can play no more than 10 games until as such their season is over. So last year, for instance, as a 15-year-old, Zach Major in his minor midget year, he was only allowed to play 5, but he ended up playing 8 because he actually played playoff games after the U16 Trappers season was over. So once that happens, it's unlimited.
Good chance there by Gravel. Speaking of affiliate players, getting a tip in off the pass from Cowell, who scored a nice goal yesterday as well. And it's kind of a shame because with Zach Major that he's injured this year, because I thought in the playoffs, the few games I got to see of you guys with the Voodoos, he was one of your better players.
Yeah, Zach Major was probably a top 4 defenseman as a 15-year-old. Went a little later in the draft than I would have expected. I think there was some concern about his foot speed, but I know talking to some OHL scouts that worked the north that they thought he would go a lot earlier, and were pressing their GM counterparts to take him earlier than he went. So, but we hope the best for Zach and his recovery. He's getting back on the ice. And we hope he can, potentially play junior hockey again next year and get back on the ice playing some midget hockey at some point this season, whether it be late 2022 or early 2023.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on that one for sure. And I think he went in the 9th round for Owen Sound, which I think Owen Sound may have gotten a bit of a steal. Unfortunately, again, losing an entire year of development. But puck down the ice, another icing call as it just missed Caleb Dawson's stick, so we'll have to go right back down to the Trappers zone. Just under 2 minutes gone here in this first period.
The goaltender on the other side of the ice, Kieran Ouellette, he was the goalie of record on October 2nd when the Trappers won 6-0. Kieran, very familiar with the Great North U18 League. He played last season, actually, in fact, with the Timmins Majors last year. So he's making the trek south to play with the Sudbury squad.
Bradley now comes up the ice. He's got Boyes in support, takes the shot. It goes wide of the net. Sudbury now trying to recover, but instead it's going to be Curry who picks it up. Josh Curry, not to be confused with Josh Curry of former North Bay Battalion fame, now with the Windsor Spitfires.
Yeah, Josh Curry's an interesting, played AA in Milton last year and joined the Trappers. His family has a place in Dunchurch, Ontario, which is south of South River. And he's been a real pleasant surprise as a kid coming in here. He's got some pretty soft hands. I think of him almost as a right-hand version of Nate Gravel. So.
Yeah, and that's a goal for the Trappers. Speaking of Nate Gravel, he tips that one in and gives the Trappers an early 1-0 lead here in the first period with just 2.5 minutes played. What a nifty play that kind of came out of An innocent-looking point shot, Chris.
Yeah, you know what? He's always been real crafty around the net, like I said, comparing him to Josh Curry. And the young centerman made a real nice move. He actually, in fact, speaking of Nate, he had a dynamite game in that 6-0 win. I believe he had 2 goals and 2 assists in that contest, so he's getting off to a really good start here at home.
Coming in with a shot, just gets up into the glove of McIver. That was Sam Levesque. Again, the player to watch on Sudbury this game, going against our player to watch for North Bay, Mike McIver, who, as I understand, is also your billet this year, too. So a little invested in that.
Know a little bit about Cash Money is his nickname ever since he was in Pee Wee. So, and if you think of it, it's not because he's super wealthy, but you know what? He's had that nickname because he's so ultra competitive and always seems to, over the years in minor hockey and Quinty, and obviously Adam Dennis noticed he comes up with big saves and big moments, and he has a real strong mental game too, and he doesn't get rattled. So and that's a huge thing for a goaltender.
Offside call there, as the Trappers were just a half a step ahead. That was Lefebvre. And just speaking of the Quinty program, the battalion really liked to go to that well, because they're also taking Dallin Wakely, who was the former captain of the Quinty Red Devils there, and then getting Mike McIver a couple of years later. And, you know, I think the battalion are pretty ecstatic to have McIver, as even though they have 2 great goaltenders in Dom DiVincentis and Charlie Robertson, the shot goes wide by Boys and back out to the point. Even though they have the 2 goaltenders in DiVincentis and Robertson, they still thought enough of McIver to sign him. In campus, another quick shot comes in, and Ouellette turns that one away. Trappers now buzzing, looking for another option. And that's Bryson Smith with the puck, or rather, Cohen Crane gets the puck out to the neutral zone. Boys just flips it right back in. And Curry goes to chase after it.
That's Gravel from Boys and Beamer on that goal.
Official scoring on that one for those keeping track at home. Bradley throwing his body around. And him and his brother are really kind of twin towers of terror when you see them out on the ice together. They're both big boys. St. Onge passes it off, and the shot just may have hit McIver's shoulder and gone over the net into the glass. And now we have a slow developing attempt here, but the Trappers can't get going as Gravel didn't really have time. He was waiting for that puck to come to him, but he ran out of time on that one. McComb now goes up ice. Thomason picks it up. Looks to go back up ice, and the puck's just out of the reach of everyone. And that one's going to have the legs for icing. So with 15:30 left in the first, it's a 1-0 game for the Trappers.
Yeah, Aiden Thomason, he made a real nice play yesterday on that goal by Heath Bradley. I believe it was the 3-0 goal for the Trappers. He's a hard-working working defenseman. Dad Terry, we'll say he's hard-working too, and you got to say it because he's actually he actually is a part-time a referee and official, and certainly trying to help fill that void of all the shortage in officials all over Northern and Ontario in general. So, you know, kudos to his dad for officiating. He officiated a girls' game right before this one. So, anyways, and good to see Aiden Thomason off to a good start.
Kicked away by McIver and out of play. And yeah, just onto that officials thing again. Talking to a couple of the guys at the NOHA, we had Jacob Brown on when we were in Sudbury to talk about the green armband initiative that they were talking about, like, you know, to kind of say, hey, you know, referees are here because they love the game too. And as you mentioned, the referee shortage throughout Northern Ontario, and without them, that's a quick shot, just nearly handcuffed McIver, but he's able to get a pat on that one as the puck was under him. But just, you know, without these referees, these games don't happen, right? So
yeah, and they're down, you know, well over 50% before COVID. So I mean, there's a couple of factors. One is obviously the time. Another one too is that, you know, they really talk about the abuse, and they don't want you know, anything to you know, any of that kind of stuff happening with parents and coaches, and you know, so that's part of what the green armband thing's all about.
Dawson came in with an attempt, but he couldn't get past the Sudbury defender. Now Sudbury going the other way. Takes a shot from outside. McIver kicks that one away. Trappers now trying to get back out to the neutral zone, but they can't get past Shawana. Shawana takes a shot. It hits a stick and goes wide. Russo now gets it out front, and he's just going to carry the puck down the ice. Russo over to Lefebvre, back, and Lefebvre just crisscrosses over. He had an impressive game yesterday too, I thought. Dawson takes the shot, and it goes in the net after hitting the pad of Ouellette and trickles in behind. I thought it did, but no one really reacted at first, Chris.
This is a really important thing, and they always tell a goaltender to come back to his post. When you're off the post like that, and you see it in the NHL now, and how players are trying to, find any way to score a goal, and he just deflected it in off the goaltender, and it was a real quick play, heads-up play to see that Kieran Ouellette wasn't square to the, he wasn't hard on his post. So, anyways, 2-0 Trappers.
You can't be too upset with that one. It's going to be a happy night in the Dawson household once again, I would imagine. Bradley comes in. Tries to get around Shawana, and he does, but gets it as far as the corner, and then he tries to rim it around for Boys. Sudbury now back on the counterattack. But Boys is able to get the puck from that one. Now for Bradley coming in. So the assist coming from Jesse Lefebvre on that one.
I think Russo might get an apple on that too. He was the one who started the play out.
Yeah, and he passed it to Lefebvre too.
It's been a really good line. Russo talks about what he likes about Caleb along the wall. He likes how Caleb's able to chip pucks out and make some of those simple plays to create that transition play. And the three of them do a really good job on the cycle game as well. And then Jesse, he is just a true competitor with a bullet shot. He had 2 goals in that 6-0 game against Ouellette as well. So it's been a really good line, and I think that's the real luxury that Coach Doug Sanders. We haven't talked about Doug this year. He started last year. You look 365 days, his first year with the U18 team as a coach, a team that they had a tough time putting enough kids to play. He started the year 0-10. So to be able to come get this group, adopt this group that Guy Blanchard have helped for a number of years, he's got to be pretty happy with the start that his team has had here. So.
For sure, and it's become a respectable program as well. And I'm sure Doug will be listening to this afterwards and a little bit happy that we pumped his tires a little bit.
He may even have it on the bench. He may even be listening on the bench.
Well, he's not. His poker face isn't telling us otherwise. So Thompson tries to get the shot in, but Beamer stops that one with a stick, and now it's a board battle here on the near side wall.
I'll tell you one of the other really good things about the Trappers is you have. Actually, only one of the 2 assistants is here, Peter Easton, but you got Adam Marceau and Peter Easton, and of course, I have a lot of knowledge about Adam, who played as a midget with the Trappers, much like these kids did, and he also played for the junior Trappers when I was working for that program. So it's nice to see a guy, a very passionate guy involved in hockey, and a guy who wants to give back. And you know what? Every town in Ontario, across the country in the U.S., every community needs those really good players that went through the experience and come back and give it up, because it can't all be just retired folks that are running hockey programs.
No, yeah, it's always and that's the other thing we talk about the referees, but you definitely need to keep the interest going on the off-ice side too, and getting some young blood in there as well. As Shawana's shot gets knocked down, but it almost became an effort, as a tenacious effort by those Sudbury Nickel Capitals in front. Shawana gets it up to Lees. Lees pass just behind his intended target. Thomason back to Gravel. Gravel up to Bradley. He touches it, and it goes into the zone, and he's going to have to go after it, but now it's right back out to the neutral zone. Bradley once again gets his hands on the puck. Scoring a goal yesterday. Takes the shot, bit of a rebound there, but a good job of clearing by Sudbury. Lees gets the pass into his skates. And I think if you're Sudbury's coach, that's been kind of the one thing that we've seen a lot, is not many tape-to-tape passes. I'm sure it gets a little bit frustrating when you're standing there on the bench watching your guys play.
Yeah, they're having to come from behind again. It's the key has been the quick starts for the Trappers. So there's Mike McIver, another really good tool that he has too in his arsenal, as he really plays the puck well.
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday. He's been fun to watch, and exciting as a battalion prospect, and that one's going to go down the length of the ice, and that'll go for icing. One thing I said to Bob a lot yesterday is because of the trapezoid, because of battalion playing here and that being a rule in the OHL, it's always so strange watching the goaltender still go out and play the puck in the corner when there's still the trapezoid. It's not so bad in Powassan where there's no trapezoid on the ice, but here it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on?
Yeah, and you know what? Some of these young goalies, they forget it too, because that's not the way it is in minor midget, you know. So, and it wouldn't have been the same for probably Robertson.
No, Dawson now going up ice. He's already got a goal. Tries to get Lefebvre with the puck in the slot, and a couple of good stick whacks by Sudbury knocks that away. Now to Rosso in the slot. He gets the shot, but it's blocked. Bodies falling everywhere. That's St. Onge on the ice. He looks to be injured. He's not moving very far. And the referees call that one dead. And just real quick, what I was going to mention, I mentioned this to Bob yesterday, but I remember one player that you had in Powassan, Mr. Joe Verbetic, when he came up and played his first game in the OHL, he played the puck in the corner. And boy, did he not hear the end of that one, because he took a 2-minute penalty for delay of game on that one.
Well, there you go. You know, he wasn't accustomed to it, and you know, so.
Yeah, he thought he had all the time in the world. Turns out he didn't. Turns out he had no time.
No.
And that was as St. Onge gets up, and a bit of applause there for him to get off the ice, but looks like he's he's being helped off the ice, but it looks like he's going to be hopefully okay in the long run. But that was the funny part, was that was the year before he made the full transition, so he was still playing with Powassan at the time when he made that mistake. And well, I mean, I can tell you right now who was on the bench for that one. You could hear him screaming and shouting from where, I mean, to be fair, but also to be fair, Joe had never played that way either,
Stan
right?
was a goalie, so he should have been a little bit more acceptant of it, I guess.
Yeah, especially when he's your goalie of the future, right? So at the time, which is now wild to think that he's the goalie of the past. So
for sure.
Couch.
We'll see what happens with him. I believe he's playing in the ECHL for the Canadiens affiliate team.
Yeah, signing an AHL deal. And look at Lefebvre with some speed. He can't get to the puck first. And now the Trappers tried to counter. Once again, this line. And it looks like they'll be penalized here for hooking. So the Trappers will have the first penalty against in the game. Or rather, Sudbury will, although it was a Trapper stick I saw it hit, but I guess it was because Sudbury was dumping it out. So that'll be Dominic Morris in the box now, and Sudbury will have to kill off 2 minutes. And this is one thing Bob and I talked about yesterday, Chris, is that while North Bay has, stayed out of the penalty box a lot, they need to start converting on their special teams. I think they went 0 for yesterday, or if they didn't, it was a one goal in the 5 goals they had. So there's a big hit now along the near side half wall. And we'll get another penalty here. So North Bay getting ready to go for a 5-on-3 as McIver's off. But for now, it'll be 6-on-4. Cowell cycles it back to Anello. Anello at the point. Looks over. They take the shot. It goes wide. And that'll do it there for a delayed game. And now we got a bit of chippiness there after the fact. And you wondered if this was going to be the case after how yesterday's game ended.
Yeah, I mean, it started to get a little heated up in the third period for sure. So, and you know, if North Bay gets the next goal again, and we have a 3-goal lead, you know, I mean, the frustration certainly can be seen on you know, I mean, I know that you know, talking to, and this might be a 5-minute major, you know, talking to Caden Dubroy's dad, he was talking about how hard Caden scored the lone goal on Mike, and he's talking about how hard it is to score on Mike McIver. So I'm sure he's already in the head. And I mean, Mike's off to a really good start already today. So you have to factor in the fact that the Trappers are getting early goals in the first period, and you have a goalie who's very hard to beat. And, you know, all those factors are not don't go in the favor of the Nickel Capitals at this point.
So that's 2 minutes on the board for Lees. He has been taken out of the game, though, so for 1 minute 27 seconds, it's a 5-on-3. And you have to think that the monster that is Cash Money is for sure in their heads, Chris, as the Trappers now into the slot for Rosso. He takes the shot and off a body and wide. Dawson picks it up. Gets it back to Lefebvre. Lefebvre quickly over to Couch. Couch takes the shot. It's high and wide. And the rebound off the glass will go out to the neutral zone for Lefebvre to get in his own zone. Lefebvre looking back up ice. Skates through the neutral zone. Gets it to Dawson, but it's off his skate, and Sudbury's going to be able to clear. 53 seconds left on the 5-on-3. McIver comes out to play the puck.
Would that be a dad thing if I said that back heel pass was intentional? That probably would be.
Probably.
It looked like it for a second, but it wasn't.
But if anyone knows Caleb's game, it's definitely you for sure, helping hone him in the little ice box he got there.
Well, you know what? This summer we got to get to know Zach Bertina, and Zach talked with Caleb a lot over the summer. And Zach, we grew up with Mason Marchment, and he said Caleb has a lot of familiarity with that. They have a lot of similarities, rather, and both of them have 3 goals. He has 3 goals. Mason Marchman, 3 goals for a pretty good Dallas team, and a late bloomer. And I mean, of course, that's the big thing with both these teams in the U18. A lot of these kids playing midget, aside from McIver and Lefebvre, have not been drafted in the OHL. So, they were either late bloomers or, didn't get the exposure, that they, were hoping, where they didn't make the OHL Cup team and didn't play down there. But anyways, that's what it's all about. Doesn't mean it's not the end of the world. And I know you guys had a nice conversation about my son yesterday during the broadcast about, dealing with not being drafted and try to make the most of the time. And I think that's one of the things these kids all have to know, that the hockey's not over just because you didn't get drafted at 16. So
many different avenues for sure for you to be able to take.
I mean, I even think of wearing my Voodoos hat. A guy like Harrison Israels, who came up and played with the Voodoos as a 17-year-old and not drafted in the U18 draft or the U16 draft out of Toronto. And Harrison ended up being the rookie of the year in the NOJHL, and ended up being a OJHL MVP and getting a Division I scholarship to Alaska Fairbanks, where he's in his sophomore year. So you know what? It's not the end of the world, and any parents that are listening, keep your hope up, and if they work hard, they'll find you, and you don't need to go to Toronto to be found either.
No, and that's kind of the nice thing now is as Sudbury successfully killed off those penalties, and now it's the Trappers that are at the man advantage here. That's one of the things that really helps with having that U18 draft now in the OHL as well. And that was one of the things that we touched on. Caleb has a big year that Adam told him. Adam Dennis, the battalion general manager. His name will likely be called in the U18 draft, and we've seen some successful U18 players that North Bay's drafted as Sudbury comes through with some speed.
Well, I think of one right now. I mean, you think of the 20-year-old year. You definitely have to be a decent player to play at 20 in the OHL, because there's only a certain amount of spots for that. And Ryan Thompson would be one to mind. He's an overage. Yep. He made an overage spot with the Greyhounds this year after the battalion made a move to trade him. So
sent him to Erie last year, and now he's with the Sioux, like you mentioned. Or even, at your level, Alex Little was a U18 pick as well. Smith now comes in, tries to get a move. Bradley gets a handle on it and sends that one down. Just under a minute left on that power play. But yeah, Alex Little, your captain, he's having a good start to his year.
Absolutely,
as well.
Absolutely. Davis Anello in the box right now too, with a holding the stick penalty as we converse. So
Thompson for Sudbury in the corner, gets it to the near side half wall. Tries to skate it around. Looking for some options. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Sudbury looking for their second goal of the season. Their first of this game, as they're down 2-0 with 5 minutes left in the first. Bradley tries to get that one over, but he can't chip it over the stick. And now it's quickly out front, and what a save by McIver as he kicks that one away. Cash money indeed. Roulette out to play the puck. Bradley hot on his heels. 5 seconds left on the man advantage. And now Sudbury turns around, and that's Dominic Morris looking up ice. And that's sent down the ice as we're back to 5-on-5, and it's icing. So
give a shout out, a real got two players that have one that's serving a suspension, Jacob McGill, who will be back to play this next Great North Midget League game. But I want to give a shout out to Mikey Perkard, who's been with the AAA Trappers program for a long time. The poor lad's got a chest infection and was unable to. He was supposed to be making the start on Saturday night, but he's at home watching this on antibiotics, and we wish him the best. He's a kid who kind of came out of nowhere about 3 or 4 years ago and made the AAA team. And in that unfortunate season where hockey ended abruptly because of COVID, Mikey was one win away, playing all the playoff games for this team. We were 1 win away. I guess we would have been the U14 Trappers. It was the minor Bantam year, and then COVID shut it all down. But 1 win away from winning an NOHA championship, and that was a year where Justin Robinson, who was drafted by the Sea Dogs, he had pneumonia, and we had to have an AP dress for us. So, anyways, good luck to Mikey Perkard, and I look forward to seeing him play next weekend in Kingston when the Trappers are in the tournament in Kingston next weekend.
Yeah, spent some time in Kingston this summer. Gorgeous city. I've only been there in the summer, though. But Bradley comes up the ice, and hopefully with boys, with a good chance, he comes in and just basically let him skate right in.
Oh, that was the best save of the night for Kieran Willett.
What a save for sure.
Anthony Boyes, the youngest of the 2 Boyes brothers on this team, made a really nice move in the middle of the ice. He's got real silky mitts and a really good release, and Willett gets down on that blocker side, basically the weak spot for most goaltenders, and he made a really nice toe save there and recovered on that. So a big key save there to keep this thing from going to 3-0.
Yeah, good save for sure. And just one last thing I just wanted to mention, good luck to Mike Perkard. We saw him in a couple of games last year with the U16 Trappers. Looked very solid. As a big hit by Gravel. Absolutely blows up a Nickel Capitals player. Sudbury now buzzing. They've definitely looked like a different team here throughout the first period than they did yesterday, where North Bay kind of had their way with them. But Sudbury, even though they're down 2-0, putting in a lot of effort to keep this game within reach. Gravel now goes back through the neutral zone. It's up to Sudbury now. It's into the North Bay zone. Couch picks it up behind his net. Takes the hit. Shawana takes the shot. It's well wide. And Russo goes after it, or Dubril. Or I should say Russo, yes. I got my teams mixed up here, Chris. I look down, I see the 60s, and I'm like, oh, yeah, nope, that's who it is.
Nice play by Cowell.
Dawson now looking for some options as he skates into the zone. Sends the puck in deep and chases after it. Russo will be first on it. And now they're getting into a scrum before Russo comes away with it. Out front to Lefebvre, it was in his skates. And it goes the length of the ice to McIver. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the first period. McIver showing shades of Marty Brodeur with his stick handling, as we talked about that earlier. Thompson is going to be the first one on that one as Dawson gives him chase. Thompson gets it back up to the neutral zone. And Sudbury can't get much going as they can't get it into the North Bay zone with pressure. Bradley chasing after the puck. Sudbury's going to be first on it. And now quickly it's Levesque who's taken off the puck by a nice play by Lefebvre.
Well, that's the physicality. You know what I mean? What I've heard about Jesse Lefebvre is there's a lot of similarities to a kid on the battalion named Nikita Tarasevich, and I think that Adam Dennis is hoping at some point he becomes that guy.
Shot comes in on the backhand.
13th round pick of the battalion last year.
Yeah. We talked about him a little bit on the broadcast yesterday, and a minute 20 now left in the first period.
Shout out to Troy Lefebvre, who's a longtime coach in West Nipissing, and he's got another son, Cody, who he's coaching again this year and puts in a lot of time and effort into hockey. Very passionate guy. And you know where if Troy's at a rink, you're going to hear it. Not in a negative way, but he's a pretty loud guy. But a very, very passionate guy, and certainly a great hockey dad for his 2 sons.
Well, Bob and I talked a little bit about Jesse Lefebvre, and I was saying, sometimes when people see a North Bay Trappers player drafted by the battalion, they think it's a courtesy pick or, whatever. But I don't think that's the case with Jesse Lefebvre. Yeah, he went in the 13th round, but I think they were pretty ecstatic to get him in that round. And just watching him at camp, he's very tenacious. And in your scouting videos, he said his favorite player is Brad Marchand, and he definitely looks like
Oh,
a
I
Brad
told
Marchand
him, I
out there.
said he is. I mean, in the broadcast that I did last year for the U16 teams, he reminds me a lot. He does not mind going in the dirty areas, and I can tell you, he scared the bejesus out of me yesterday in the penalty box when I was doing public address, and he looked like he was going to take a guy of twice his size right through the glass at the in the public address in the penalty box.
Yeah.
So he's not afraid, and certainly he plays a fearless style and had a really good OHL Cup. Didn't get off to a really quick start, but the big thing is he had a really strong finish, and that's obviously what the scouts were looking for. Scored a couple big goals. I tell you, one of the things, we haven't seen him do it yet, but he's a forward who loves to use the slap shot. So he will...
Coming in now, Curry all alone. He takes the shot, and Josh Curry roofs that one over Ouellette. And what a goal there!
Silky mitts again. That's
it's like you're a real analyst, Chris. Here, what a great play by Curry, and he gets the last-minute goal here for the Trappers. And like you said, silky mitts for sure. Wow, what a goal! That's the highlight goal so far between these two games.
Yeah, that's his second goal. He scored another real nice goal on a one-timer set up by his partner Nate Gravel. I think Nate might get an assist on that goal. I'll wait for the call from Mike Brito.
So much like yesterday, it looks like the Trappers are going to take a 3-0 lead into the first intermission. With 13 seconds left here is the puck battle in the zone. And Boys is just going to send that one down the ice and chase after it. 6 seconds left on the clock. Sudbury behind their net. Looking for some options, and that'll do it here for the first period of action between the North Bay U18 Trappers and the Sudbury U18 Nickel Capitals. And just before we go to our break here, Chris, let's get your thoughts on that first period of action between the two teams, a 3-0 lead for North Bay.
Well, I mean, like I said, I thought that this game Sudbury came out and played strong in that first 10 minutes. Key thing what the Trappers are doing so far this year is they're capitalizing on their chances. You know, for instance, Caleb Dawson deflecting one in from a bad angle off the goalie. They're capitalizing on their chances.
Yep.
I don't think that they've been. I think Ouellette had to make one really key save, but they're cashing in on their opportunities, and that's what the Trappers have done so far this year. In this now their third game against Sudbury, so we'll see what they do in the second period.
Should be interesting for sure as we go through the back half or the next two periods of this game, but we'll be back with more frontline action on this one right after this.
And Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
You to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor.
Families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
college alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things. Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
This period is brought to you by Canadore Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens. It's a 3-0 hockey game in favor of the North Bay U18 Trappers. And Chris Dawson may have abandoned me for the first little bit, but that's okay. I have a pretty good consolation prize, and that's Mr. Peter Goulet, the head coach of the Powassan Voodoos. Peter, thanks so much for joining me here today on the front line.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. First time I've watched these two teams play this year, so it's good to be here.
Yeah, and as the head coach of the Voodoos, I talked to Chris a little bit about this with him being the GM, but as head coach, you got a whack ton of affiliates out there, so it must be a couple of players that you're able to keep your eye on today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm watching both teams. These guys are the future of the CHL and the CJHL, so it's good to be here and hope to get out to many more games.
You yourself, of course, being busy with the Voodoos, you had 2 games this week, both victories over the French River Rapids. Maybe not necessarily the start to the season you guys would have hoped for, but still a winning record. How do you feel so far about your team through the first few games?
Yeah, I feel good about it. We've had injuries, not an excuse. It's an opportunity for players, young players, to gain some great experience, and it's been good so far. I'm enjoying it up here, and got a great owner in Jim Bruce, and working with Chris Dawson has been really good for the first 3 months here so far, so we get along really good, and got a great assistant coach with Josh Hardiman, so everything's good so far.
Good opportunity there for Sudbury, and then a save by McIver, and now they're just making sure that the net's back on its moorings. And you yourself coming up with Josh Hardiman, bringing him up. He played for you and all that stuff. What can you tell us about Josh?
Yeah, he's a young, bright coach. He's got a great future in the game. He got in at the right age. Ton of potential. Does an unbelievable job on the video for us and coaching our D. And it was important for me. I really think he has a bright future. It was important for me to make sure he continued in the game. And Jim was nice enough to allow him to come up here with us.
Opportunity coming in. McIver comes down to freeze that one. And it's kind of funny with the Voodoos, like everyone at the end of the year assumed that, head coach Mark Lafleur would be back before he took a job in the QMJHL, and then you were named pretty quickly after. What was the initial reaction from you when you first heard that Powassan had a coaching change and your interest in the job?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I was with Trenton, and things, what a save there. Things didn't work out. That's part of the game. It's part of this business. It's a short shelf life, and Mark Lafleur's a great friend of mine. He's a great coach and did a great job with the young team last year. I believe they've had 6 guys from that team.
Shot coming in from the point, and that's Morris, who picks up the first goal here for Sudbury. And it's their second goal of the season, just under 2 minutes in. It's a 3-1 hockey game for the Trappers. Sorry to cut you off there, Coach.
No, that's okay. Goal's more important. Yeah, so Mark's a great coach, great friend, did a great job with the team last year. They believe they've had 6 guys signed in the OHL from that team, and, that's a reflection on Mark Lafleur and Chris Dawson on the recruiting those guys did and the coaching Mark did. So, the opportunity came, and I drove up here and met with Jim, and, it was fast. It happened real fast. It came out of the blue, and my plan, I was going to stay with Trenton and help him out for the year and scout and recruit. And at the end of the day, I just we were home for 2 years in a row with COVID, and I just wanted to work. I love the game. I love working in the game, and I love scouting, but I love coaching and recruiting. So.
Coach picking up that one as Sudbury seems to be reinvigorated here with a little bit of life. And coming up to Powassan, being around Trenton, and of course being home as we got an offside call for those 2 years. But Trenton, a team with a good, strong history, and Powassan, albeit not as long, but still a strong history. What does it mean to you to kind of come into a team that expects to win right off the hop and has that history behind them?
Yeah, it's awesome. Jim Bruce, the owner, was up front with me and says he wants to win, and finishing second isn't what he's looking for. So you want to work for owners that want to win. Trenton had that same mentality. We had that mentality when we were with Nepean. When I first started coaching, Kingston really had that mentality. I was lucky enough to go back to Kingston Voyageurs, and we wanted to win. It's it's a tough thing to do in hockey, is win championships. I've been doing it 19 years, lucky enough to win 3. So it's not like they're falling off the apple tree every day.
Still, in 3 years or 3 championships in 19 years, it's there's a lot of years where you're not winning that final game of the season. Good opportunity there for the Trappers, but still to have 3 titles under your belt as well. But also the developing side of the game. We've talked about it a little bit, but one of your guys recently making news with the Calgary Flames that you used to coach, Mackenzie Weegar. I got to ask you about him and seeing him sign that deal and get traded to Calgary.
Yeah, he's an amazing young man. Was an amazing hockey player from the first time I seen him. Had endless potential, and you never know how far these kids are going to go. It's it's a determination, how hard they work and how they play, and how hard they work out. And Mackenzie had it all right from the beginning, and where he is now and the contract he just signed, it proves hard work pays off. I was lucky enough to coach Ben Hutton, Ryan Johnson, the Sudbury boy, played for me in Nepean. We won the championship together. Dan Altschuler was one of my goalies in Nepean, and he was a hell of a goalie. Signed it with Carolina. So yeah, lucky enough to coach a lot of great young men. So it's been pretty awesome.
Well, I'm sure it's been quite a ride, and we're going to be interested in watching your ride all season long here on the front line with the Voodoos. And we wish you nothing but luck and the best moving forward, Mr. Peter Goulet there, the head coach of the Voodoos again. So thanks again for joining us here in the booth for the first bit of the second period. We'll let you get back to scouting and watching the game. Thanks so much again.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thank you so much. So we're back in action here with the Trappers again. 3-1 for the North Bay Trappers. Sudbury getting the most recent goal off the stick of Dominic Morris, and now we have Lazarus with the puck and Bradley trying to play the puck back. Boys chips it up. Shawana now looking for some options off ice. The Sudbury team coming on as we're going to welcome back Chris Dawson back into the booth here in just momentarily. We'll have his thoughts here on that first goal as he was taking some pictures. Once again, the many hats of Chris Dawson and Morris, the goal scorer on that one, out on the ice once again. Bradley loses the puck. McCrane goes after it. Now it's back into the neutral zone and up ice. Bradley with the puck. Looks up ice to Cowell. Cowell picking up a goal yesterday. And Sudbury regains possession. Back to the point. Sent in. A tip off the mask of Ouellette and into the corner. Sudbury trying to counter. Tries to get it up. They couldn't get it out of their zone as it hit a skate and went back in. But Sudbury finally gets it back. Anello goes behind the net for Couch. Couch up to Cowell. And Sudbury player Shawana blowing a tire. And then it's going to come back in on the offside. And Chris, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the Sudbury gets some zone pressure. Goalie Mike McIver ended up losing his goalie stick, and Morris takes a shot from the top of the circle and beaten Mike glove side, a goal probably Mike McIver would have liked to have back, but that's what they needed. They needed to get an early goal to, try to make up for that late goal, that highlight reel goal by Curry at the end of the period. That's what the coaching staff here really wanted was, a good response to start the period, and getting that goal, was a big thing.
Puck comes in, shot, a couple of whacks at it, but they can't beat Ouellette.
Is Morris from Crane at 18:05, so 1:55 on if you do the time. So an early goal is a big start for in the second period for this Nickel Capitals team.
Well, we're just over 6 minutes played now. And North Bay's going the other way, but they give it back to Sudbury. A little bit of bogged down here in the neutral zone for both teams since that goal. And the puck was left at the blue line in the Sudbury bench as it hit the linesman and stopped right there. 13:48 left in the second period, Chris. And I just wanted to ask you, well, he's sitting down the way from us as we just talked to Peter Goulet. We asked him how it kind of came together because I don't think many people expected at the end of the year Mark Lafleur to be leaving for his job in the Q. But as general manager, how did it all come together with Peter?
Well, it came together really quickly. I mean, I get a call on the first tee at Highview. Of course, you're very familiar with. Got to give a plug to Dean Harrington's golf course on Father's Day, and get the heads up that Coach Mark was going to be leaving for the Quebec League. So not really the Father's Day. It was a Father's Day surprise for sure, but certainly happy for Mark. But Mark obviously has a history with Peter Goulet, and there was a circumstance where he was kind of moved more to a recruiting role with Trenton this fall, and opened up some doors. And Peter certainly is passionate about coaching.
Rosso with the shot. Sorry, Chris, just saw that developing, and I kind of had to step in there. Misses the net. Continue. Sorry, my bad. Rosso moving in with a move, tries to get it in, and it just hits off the body of Ouellette and goes wide of the net. Anyways, back to your story. My apologies.
Yeah, so you know what? He was literally the first guy we called, and it just developed really quickly. And I've known Peter, and his first experience I met Peter was in this rink when I was with the Junior Trappers, and he was the Nepean Raiders head coach, and knew our owner Tim Clayton rather well, and we played an exhibition game here, and he brought in a pretty decent team that had a guy named Mackenzie Weegar on it back in that season. So he's one of the most respected guys in junior hockey, and I think one of the best stories I tell about Peter is a young man, Patrick Provencher, who he cut and was looking for a spot to play, and he ended up. We have an injury.
Yeah, looks like Bradley on the ice, trying to struggle to get back over to the bench as he's trying to get his way, and a couple of Trappers stick their sticks out there for him to grab and get off quickly as he goes off the bench and right back into it, as you were saying.
Yeah, so hopefully that just a tweet has a really bad Charlie horse. That did not look good for Heath Bradley going out. Didn't look like he could put much weight on his leg. But anyway, so just to show you the classy guy that he was, he was letting Patrick Provencher go, but there's a goal.
There's a goal by Cowell as that one went in through the 5-hole of Ouellette and was quickly out. Almost sounded like it hit the post, but that's because it hit the bottom of the net right there and just bounced right back out.
Yeah, and you know what? It goes it's very similar to the goal, but Caleb Dawson scored where it was a shot not from a really an angle that Ouellette was really looking for, and you know what? A great quick release by Cowell, from that angle, and talking about shooting the puck on the fly. That was a real goal scorer's goal, and that was a big one for the Trappers after that goal early in the first period or in the second period by Sudbury. That was a good response by the Trappers.
Reopens the 3-goal lead with 11 minutes left here in the second period. 9 minutes gone. So again, Cowell getting a goal in back-to-back games here in North Bay this weekend. Looks like he's ready for the tournament next weekend in Kingston. Now, you can finally try and finish your story, Chris.
So anyways, yeah, Peter brought him to North Bay.
So that's John Couch on the assist.
So he took the time to drive the kid here. Peter didn't ask for a hotel room. He actually drove from Ottawa to North Bay, didn't ask for a hotel room to stay, and slept in his car and then drove to Nepean the next day. So
wow.
Anyways, the fact that he would take the time, a kid that he's cut, and actually take the time to drive him and be in a car for 3 hours with a guy that he just cut really shows the character that this guy to my left is. The only thing that I can say, if there's any fault about Peter Goulet, as I'm looking at him and he's smiling, he knows where I'm going with this, is the hat that he's wearing.
Oh, I don't think there's any problem with the hat he's wearing.
He's a Leafs fan, but we don't hold it against him.
Maybe you shouldn't outwardly show that, though, considering it seems like Calgary media likes to contact him a lot to talk about.
Yeah, he should
Mr.
be. He should be wearing a Flames number 55 hat, I think.
Hey, I'm okay with number 55 on the Maple Leafs, who's a former Calgary Flames. So Lazarus looks like he's getting called for the hand pass on that one. So yeah, it's exciting times down in Powassan. I mean, like I said to Peter, I don't think it's maybe the start to the season that you guys would have wanted. He's been a little inconsistent, but you guys still have the winning record. So, and the 2 victories this weekend as well, Chris.
Yeah, we've just had some really bizarre injuries, of course, in the summertime, starting with, Zach Major's injury, and then, Cameron Lemke after the our second game, ended up having a, kind of a fluky injury at practice, and then, we have another last Tuesday, Dan Duraco's had a really good start between the pipes for us. He had a fluke injury too, upper body injury that's going to keep him out for a couple weeks. So, and we missed Alex Little for a couple games too. So
Val takes the shot off the post. Another shot coming in quick. And now trying to go cross ice where they can't, but Couch picks it back up. Cowell back to Couch. Couch with the shot is tipped in front. And that makes it a 5-1 hockey game. That's Jacob Beamer with the goal. 9:15 left in the second period.
Back-to-back assists for John Couch. We talked about John, his dad, John Couch Sr., an assistant coach with the Nipissing Lakers and longtime coach for this the 06 age group of this U18 team. Coached them up until minor peewee, and a great passionate hockey dad. And now Johnny, who was a little bit undersized the past few years, coming into his growing into his body, and certainly is a tremendous skater. And he's going to be a force on the blue line for this Trappers team this year. As a right-hand shot defenseman, you can't have enough of those.
No, you can't for sure. And again, as you mentioned, picking up back-to-back assists on that one. Dawson coming in now. Tries to get to Russo out front. Dawson gets to it. Tries to take the shot backhanded. It's turned away by Ouellette, and it's back out to the point. Shot coming in from the point. Dawson almost had a chance to kind of redirect it, but just out of his reach. Lefebvre throwing his weight around again. I don't think Sudbury's going to miss seeing him after they go back home after these couple of games. Puck sent back in. Lefebvre picking it back up. And he can turn on the Jets when he wants to as well.
He can.
So Cowell getting the secondary assist on that. And Lefebvre now carrying it back up. Grayson Bradley is with him with support, but it's back to Boys at the point, who takes the shot. And Ouellette kicks it almost into the stick of Grayson Bradley, but it's knocked away. 7:57 here left in the second period. 5-1 hockey game in favor of the Trappers. Now Sudbury just waiting to reset here and get what they want, the play that they want set up. Anello disrupting that, but Sudbury comes away with it, knocks it down the ice. McIver leaves it for his defenseman, who almost gave it away. McIver, though, ready for it, but it gets it into the corner instead. That's Couch, again, back-to-back assists on back-to-back goals. And it's back out to McComb. McComb sends it in. Now it's knocked wide. Another point shot, but that one's blocked by Boys. And now the Trappers go the other way in a foot race. Sudbury will be the first one back to it. And the puck is out of the zone. But Anello tries to get it back in, but can't. Boy's now taking his hit. And gets it across, and the Trappers just have it through the neutral zone trying to get it back in. Big hit. Right as they were coming in, that was Dubray. And it looked like a bit of a knee-on-knee collision, so it looks like we're going to get a penalty called here against Dubray.
Yeah, and that's Kane Savage. He's a player that's playing AA in Sudbury, so if you notice the color, the off-color helmets on some of the Trappers, those are affiliate players from the Nickel City AA midget team, so... yeah, close call there. I'm glad no one's hurt there. So,
and of course, they all know each other as the Sudbury Nickel Capitals, right? And you have to think they all know of each other, being in Sudbury. I mean, Sudbury's bigger than North Bay, but it's not that much bigger, right? So, puck goes around the zone. 2 minutes on the board there. Boys sets up, tries to get it in front. It's out of the reach of Gravel. Back to Boys at the point. Boys fakes the shot, then he passes it off to Cowell. Cowell goes cross ice, and it's just out of the reach for the Trappers who try to keep it in, but Sudbury gets it out. Right back in is Curry. Scored that highlight reel goal at the end of the first period. Tries to get it up to Cowell. 2 minutes for tripping is the call on Dubroy. Although one could argue it looked more like a knee-on-knee. Cowell takes the shot. Lazarus blocks that one. Duguay tries to get it out. And Boys just can't keep it in. We're down to a minute left on the man advantage. Going cross ice to Boys. That's Ethan Boys trying to get it out front. It comes to the stick of Lefebvre, and he tries to get that one in, but he won't go. Boys keeping the point. Into a bit of a scrum now. As Gravel comes away with it, tries to skate around Duguay, but he can't get it. And they're going to send it down the length of the ice as it goes out of play with 5:36 left in the second period, 39 seconds left on the man advantage.
Good effort there by Sudbury on that penalty kill.
Very good effort for sure.
That's one thing you mentioned that, the Trappers like to get a power play goal. They've been able to score 5-on-5, but haven't had a lot of success on the power play.
No, I think they went 0 for, or if they didn't, it was one goal yesterday. And they haven't got one yet today, but there's one off the stick of Caleb Dawson on the one-timer from Ovechkin's office. And what a goal by number 10, as he was set up perfectly with that pass.
Yeah, that's a nice one-timer, like you said. On the other side for Ovechkin, but yeah, nice shot from the day. That's a Danny Heatley circle. That's
there we go.
Danny Heatley score goal.
50 and 07.
So he said that they wanted to try to get a power play marker. That was a really nice pass, and that's one thing when the teams work in practice. It's about, and you see it in the OHL. A goal the other night that we saw, a pass to Kyle Jackson. And it was right in, Winslow gave it to Jackson in the right spot where he could get the quick release. Well, Aiden Thomason fed that pass across, put it in the exact right spot for Caleb to get that shot away. And it's so important for you don't see that. You see all these great one-timers goals in hockey, but you know what, that pass, it has to be executed in the right spot for the player to get the right shot. It's just like a golf ball. You don't want to go and try to hit a golf ball on, off your back foot very often. You want it in the right spot. So, give credit there to Aiden Thomason to get the feed through and get that goal. So,
yeah, it was a good pass by Thomason for sure, and what a quick release on that one-timer by Dawson, and just beat Ouellette cleanly. And we have a 6-1 hockey game with just under 5 minutes to go. Anello tripped down, no call coming, however. And now we do have a call coming. And we'll have to see what goes on, but it looks like a Trappers player is going off to the box. And that'll be
it looks
Anello.
like it's Anello going off. Oh, it looks like maybe it's coincidentals here. As
Yeah.
Morris and Anello both going off.
Morris has spent his fair share of time in the penalty box as well. But we'll have to see what happens here as we get some coincidentals going off. So they'll be off for at least the next 2 minutes. We'll have to wait for the next whistle after 2:40. And puck shot attempt comes in, but it's blocked by the Trappers. And now it's right back into the Sudbury zone. Going in, tries to get the attempt to Gravel in the slot, but it misses him. Boys looking up ice, loses the handle on it. And it's Dubray who tries to get it through. Sudbury in the slot, takes the shot. Hit a body in front, missed the net, and then McIver is able to get the second one and stop that one for stoppage and play.
Coincidental roughing calls there, Courtney. So
yeah. So we do have 5-on-5 play because they're coincidentals. And we're only about 40 seconds in. So we won't see them for a little while yet. Just under 4 minutes left here in the second period. Lazarus takes the shot. It's blocked by Lefebvre.
It's all about the response, like we said, Courtney. The Sudbury got that goal to pull within three. They make it a 2-goal game, and then the Trappers, give them credit. They came back, and now they've scored 3 goals in a row since to put this game potentially out of reach. So it'll be tough sledding here for Sudbury, and
well, and that's the thing, is that Sudbury hasn't given any evidence yet this season that they can come back from a bit of a hole. They've only scored 2 goals on the year, so the 5-goal deficit is well more than the 2 goals that they've scored. I mean, that doesn't mean you don't stop
there's
trying.
There's a pretty good goaltender that they're going to have to.
Yes.
They're going to have to beat. So
he's called Cash Money for a reason, right?
Cash Money, you bet.
Yeah, the Battalion definitely have to be thrilled with the way he has played so far this year.
Yeah.
Any chance I know he's listed as an affiliate for the Voodoos. Any chance we see him in net for a Voodoos game?
You never know. I mean, Mike has the opportunity. He's carded with the Voodoos, so you never know. So
well, it'll be fun to see him playing for the official Battalion affiliate for at least a game. Levesque gets it in. McIver tries to stop that one, but it rolled out of his glove, and then a quick secondary chance comes in, and he just blocks that one, and another stoppage and play with 2:45 left. We talk about the Trappers, and we, Team NOHA last year. There was a lot of Trappers that made Team NOHA. We got Jesse Lefebvre, Nate Gravel, Caleb Dawson, Grayson Bradley, and Jacob McGill. They took the Team NOHA to the OHL Cup, and they went 2-2. So, I mean, for a team of, a lot of these guys have played together, but really you're kind of making a mismatched team against some teams that are already established. To go 2-2 in the OHL Cup's pretty impressive.
Well, you know what? It's tied with I think the best. There was a team that had, I think it was the 02 age group where you had Pacey Schluting was the top player from North Bay that year. They went 2-2. That's the best record ever, in the OHL Cup via Northern Ontario team.
Gravel with a quick shot. It's blocked outside. Cowell now with it. And yeah, it is. And it's back out to Gravel, but he can't get a quick shot away. Back to Bradley at the point, and that one stopped by Ouellette, who gloves that one down.
Nice save by Grayson Bradley. Of course, your first call of the year way back in it seems like an eternity back in late August. Grayson Bradley scored a real nice power play goal for the Voodoos. I think it was the first goal of the year in exhibition play against French River.
Yep.
He made a nice play pass in the slot, and he scored. So Grayson's got a pretty heavy shot from the blue line. So.
Delayed penalty coming here on a tripping call. And that'll, with the touch up with 1:55 left in the period, if North Bay's able to kill it off, they'll spend the rest of the period. As Caleb Dawson goes in, you might have some words for him after the game.
Well, wasn't the joke yesterday the fact that I was down in the penalty box?
That's true.
So Caleb he avoided the penalty box because he didn't want to see me in there. So
yeah, I think he's okay with it now that you're not down there. So, but
I'm going to tell you the one thing about Caleb getting a penalty. Watch at the end of the penalty, because he had at least 2 breakaway goals last year where he was coming out of the penalty box. And that's one key thing, Court, Courtney, is when you have a player, sometimes you go and look and like, why is that really good player put in the penalty box for an unsportsmanlike? Why is that guy serving that? He should be out there. Well, a lot of times they do that because they know that if they get possession and the penalty is over, they have a guy behind the defense and they can get that stretch pass in. And, so anyways, that's just a little tidbit there for you. So if you see it and you see it, why are they making their top centerman and going in the box for that delay of game penalty? So
a little bit of roughing stuff there, so that'll nullify the penalty now, as there was a Trappers player down on the ice and kept getting whacked away at. But yeah, shades of Brandon Coe's goal last year in the playoffs against the Ottawa 67s, where he's in the box and comes out and scores with 2.5 seconds left on the clock to give the Battalion the decisive. That's the closest thing outside of overtime that you'll get to a walk-off, as we're going to get another Trappers penalty instead of Sudbury.
Yeah, it looks like it's Jacob Beamer going into the box now, so they'll have a 5-on-3 power play here for the next 1:15. I thought the same. The referees had the door open, thinking that there was going to be a penalty going to Sudbury.
So we're 5-on-3 for the next minute and 10 seconds, and of course the period is only 1 minute 4 seconds left. So we'll have Dawson's penalty will carry over if they don't score a goal here. As we're into the last minute here, we'll have to see Sudbury now with the extra ice, what they can do with it. Smith with the chance, gets it over to St. Owens. St. Owens with the shot. It goes over the net. Sudbury once again trying to set back up. But Russo doing his part to be a thorn in the side.
He's such a hard worker. He is such a hard worker.
Yeah, doing his part to be a thorn in the side of Sudbury there. 30 seconds left on the clock. You see Russo once again doing the hard work and see him block a shot, but he can't get the puck out. Morris now takes the pass attempt. Smith picks it up instead. Bradley goes after it. 16 seconds left on the clock. Sudbury still skating around trying to set up. 10 seconds left. They don't have much time left. Duguay now takes the shot. McIver kicks that one away. Smith had to go and retrieve that one in the corner. It's back up to Morris. Duguay tried to go out front, but the clock stops, and that'll do it. So we have 5 seconds left on the Dawson penalty, 50 seconds left on the Beamer penalty. It's a 6-1 hockey game in favor of the Trappers after 40 minutes of play. Chris, I know we had Peter at the first bit of that period, but you yourself, what did you think of that period from a Trapper standpoint?
I like I said, I like the response after the goal that Sudbury scored. They kind of did not let the Nickel Capitals get any momentum after they got that first goal, and they were able to get those 3 goals moving forward in the back end of the period. So I really like that. Cowell with a really nice goal scorer's goal from that bad angle, and then of course Beamer's nice tip-in goal, and then the one-timer. And I got to tell you, those stock CCM jet speeds. Caleb was complaining he needed a new stick. I think he's pretty good, eh? 3 goals in 2 games with that stock jet speed CCM.
But here's the question, though: does Caleb buy his own sticks, or do you buy his sticks?
Hey, I'm going to go back to what I just said. He seems to be doing really well.
Yeah, so Dad's buying the sticks is basically what I'm getting out of that. So thanks so much, Chris. We'll be back with more on the front line after this intermission.
And Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
To take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor.
Families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things. Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
This period is brought to you by Canadore Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens for North Bay U18 Trappers. Courtney Kenny alongside Chris Dawson for the call of this one. 6-1 for the Trappers, but the Trappers are down to 5-on-3, but Caleb Dawson will quickly be out of the box. And he is, so now it's a 5-on-4 man advantage for the Nickel Capitals for the next 35 seconds. We'll have to see if they can do anything with it as they're quickly into North Bay's zone. Cross ice to Thompson. Thompson back out to his D partner St. Onge, and he takes the shot. McIver blocks that one down. And now Sudbury's trying to get set up. 20 seconds left on the man advantage before Beamer's out of the box. And it quickly comes in, and McIver just gets all over that one. And we're 34 seconds into the third period.
Really like, once again, if you watch the end of the second period, you saw Justin Russo block a couple shots, make a couple really good plays to keep the puck out of the front on that 5-on-3. And he made another nice play at the side of the net. It's those little things that Justin Russo does. I mean, he's a kid who could have all day decide. You know, he made the decision, wanted to stay and play AAA. He's a kid that definitely would have had a spot on the Powassan Voodoos this season as a regular player, but he decided to stay and finish off his minor hockey eligibility, so to speak, and affiliate with the Voodoos. But he has been a beauty. He scored a really bizarre goal, if you remember, in the first game again that you broadcasted. Yep. The Rapids had a power play in the last minute with a 1-goal lead, and somehow they were trying.
Comes in quickly with Couch, and Couch with the one-timer from the point gets one past Ouellette. 7-1 for North Bay here in the third period.
What a nice play by Johnny Couch Jr. going to the middle of the ice looking for that spot, and again it's the quick releases. How many have we seen from the Trapper goals where the pucks have been on the stick, off the stick? You saw Caden Cowell coming in from a bad angle, getting rid of the puck. Caleb Dawson's first shot off a quick release. And there's Couch and Dawson with 2 one-timer goals, the 6th and 7th goals of this game. So, it's all about getting rid of that puck and quick release, and, a beautiful goal there by Johnny Couch Jr.
Good goal for sure. And as you mentioned, that Rapids game against the Voodoos was kind of like, here's the French River Rapids versus this U18 North Bay Trappers team, essentially.
Well, and they were trying to, it should have been just simple puck possession, move the puck around, but the Rapids were almost trying to score to get the extra goal like it was a tie game, and it created an opportunity for Russo to get behind the defense, and he scored like in the last minute a shorthanded goal, which, should never happen.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that game, I'll never forget, when they went down, I think it was 2 goals there, Powassan, I'll never forget it, I'll never let him live it down. Derek Lindemann, the color guy of that game, basically said, well, that'll do it for Powassan in this one. Powassan comes back, wins the game in overtime off Caleb Dawson's goal, so.
And what a bizarre goal, too. A goal, it almost ended before he had the opportunity, because it was a shot that hit the crossbar and came all the way out to Dawson.
Dawson looking for the hat trick. Takes the shot. It's blocked by Ouellette. Lefebvre comes out with it. Tries to skate around.
He made a real nice play there by Caleb, going and trying to change the angle of that shot. And I can tell you, he did the face-off ceremony during COVID. Caleb and Jesse Lefebvre, 2 line mates, were a couple of the kids who were able to go out to Butch Turcotte's rink, the LaBreche Forum. And when all the ice rinks were closed, Darren wasn't coaching the Lakers, but he was able to get, keeping under the requirements of only 5 people. Yeah. We had these mini little sessions on that beautiful outdoor rink, and Darren, former NHLer, was teaching
Bradley
that to the kids.
Out, and takes the shot.
He was teaching that to the kids, and I was joking with Darren and Butch, and Caleb played on that rink as a kid, and Marshall McCharles, another kid we didn't have a chance to talk about yet, who's had a tremendous year. Those kids have all kind of grown up on the LaBreche Forum, so I did want to throw about Marshall McCharles. What a great start he has had, the former Trapper. Was a defenseman like 3 years ago, came and played forward last year for the U18 or U16 Trappers and was drafted by the Wolves, and he's had a tremendous year with the Sudbury Cubs. He's got 7 goals, was a first star against the Elliott Lake Red Wings. So, father Joey, former junior player himself, and Jennifer, a well-known, we'll say it, respected reporter around North Bay.
Yeah.
But anyways, Marshall's done a really, really good job, and he's such a hard-working kid, and all that hard work starting to pay off. So congrats, Joey and Jen. You should be proud of what Marshall's accomplishing with the Cubs. Yeah. And likely, you know what, I said it to Joey. I said, Chase McQueen Spence came in as a 16-year-old with the Voodoos last year, and he didn't put up the early numbers that Marshall has, and he ended up getting an OHL contract in the fall. So, you know what, maybe he's going to force the hand of Rob Papineau to sign him, because he's certainly, making a name for himself with the Cubs and with hockey in Sudbury. So.
Well, the Cubs no longer the affiliate of the Sudbury Wolves. That's the Espanola Paper Kings, as we talked about earlier. But he's still playing in Papineau's backyard, so to speak, with the Cubs at the Jerry McCrory complex, which is a very nice complex. Spending a lot of time there. As the puck comes out front, McIver knocks that one away.
There's one of the really good things about Mike McIver as well that Adam Dennis will talk about, is the active stick. He saw that loose puck, instead of waiting for the guy to get the puck, he got his stick in that area and was able to tip it away and out of traffic. And one of the things that a lot of times goalies, they don't talk about as much as the poke checks and their active stick, but Mike McIver's really good with his active stick as a goalie, and it's really important.
He's been impressive so far in these 2 games I've been able to see him in. As the puck comes out front once again, Sudbury trying to get some wax at it. They finally do, but it's off the skate of Grayson Bradley and goes wide. Shot trying to come from the point. It's blocked out front by the Trappers, and away goes Lefebvre. Lefebvre with the slap shot. You talked about that in the first period. As a forward who likes to employ the use of a slap shot. He did have Dawson as a trailer, but a good defensive play by Sudbury took it away.
I think what Jesse was trying to do, he definitely would have liked to put it through Ouellette, but I think he was also trying to take that shot, and with that heavy shot that would be hard to control, that he was hoping maybe for a rebound if it didn't go in, and then Caleb could just chip it home. So, seen Jesse for a number of years, and I'm not shocked to see him go with the clapper right there.
No, but it was a good defensive effort by Sudbury to take away that pass opportunity too. That's Heath
nice
Bradley.
Save by Ouellette too.
Yes, it was a very nice save. Heath Bradley back out there. Good to see him back out after going off for an injury scare there in the second. Couch, the goal scorer here in the third period, gives it to Anello. Anello chips it up. He's going to get it back off the rebound from Dubray. But yes, Marshall McCharles, just back to him momentarily, having a good season, and unfortunately came against your Voodoos, but picking up a couple of goals at the NOJHL showcase against them on his mother's birthday.
Of course, that was a couple real nice goals. I'll give credit to Marshall.
Yeah.
I just told him, I said, I love you scoring 2 goals. Don't have to do it against Powassan every time, though.
Yeah, for sure.
He had 2 against Elliott Lake, the number 1 star, on Saturday night for number 6 and 7 on the season. So, and he's playing with another former Trapper and a former Sudbury Nickel Capital in form of Nolan Newton, who's a draft pick of the Barrie Colts, and he's having a solid season too. And shout out to Shelley and Rob Newton as well.
Yeah, draft pick of the Barrie Colts, like you mentioned. He's been fun to watch whenever I've seen Sudbury play too, as we get an offside call. Another player from
we're going to get a penalty, a tripping call right there, and called by long-time veteran official Darren Long, and that is going to be Hayden Thomason going to the box with 13:16 left in the period. This has been fun, Courtney.
It has been, for sure. It's been a quick game. But as you mentioned, a couple of Nickel Capitals being drafted, and Braden Viz as well going to Niagara. Tyson Rismond, who plays for the Voodoos right now, is a draft pick and also signed like Mike McIver with the North Bay Battalion. And he's looked good in the early going.
He played in the game against Ottawa last weekend.
Yeah, he's looked good through the early going so far, getting third pairing minutes, but of course he has to work his way up into the lineup. But he got a few games in with the Cubs last year as well, so might kill Sudbury a little bit. You guys traded good players in Risman and McCharles a little bit, but hey, I think both teams will be better for it in the long run. Although McCharles, again, like you mentioned, putting up the stats, and it's going to be hard to ignore if you're Sudbury at some point. Another couple of players as we get the puck into the zone here with minute 15 left, and the puck's quickly dumped back down to Sudbury zone. Another couple of players that are affiliates. All the way out in Espanola, we have Caden Cowell, who scored a couple of goals this weekend. And then for French River, Jesse Lefebvre. So,
Jesse's a kid from the Sturgeon Falls area, so kind of right in the middle between Noelville and North Bay. So we wish Jesse well, and he's a tenacious forward, like we said, very much Brad Marchand like.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be playing against him, that's for sure. Sudbury now, 35 seconds left on their man advantage with Thomason in the box. And it's going to go down into the Sudbury zone. Smith will have to chase after it. Smith waits up behind his net, looking for some options. Goes up into the neutral zone, but he's quickly knocked off the stick of his intended target, Duguay, but quickly Sudbury counters. Big hit on the far side. That was Boys colliding with Morris.
Morris is a big boy. He's one of the returners from that U18 team that was in the final last year against the lost in the final in overtime to the Sioux Greyhounds in the tournament format that they had for the Great North U18 championship last year that the Sioux Greyhounds won, led by Coach Jamie Henderson.
So another penalty, so it'll be 5-on-3 for a whole 2 seconds here as Grayson Bradley goes off. Are they going to be doing the tournament format again, or are they doing back to the playoffs?
You caught me off guard. I think it's changing, but I'll have to confirm it.
Yeah. Puck goes down the ice quickly, so that will kill off the first penalty, and it'll kill off some seconds on the Bradley penalty now, as it's back to 5-on-4 now. 11 minutes left here in the third. 7-1 in favor of the Trappers. Good stick there by the Trappers. That was Curry, again, scoring a highlight reel goal at the end of that first period. Trying to get the puck up. Heath Bradley coming in with some speed. It's a bit of a foot race. He can't get to it as he's falling down. And then we're going to get a high sticking call and a stoppage in play.
Rory making the call here. Let's see who's going. Is it a North Bay penalty or is it a Sudbury penalty?
Might just be high sticking and then they touch the
Oh,
puck
high
afterwards.
sticking with the stick. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's what high sticking would be with the stick, right? So
It's so strange that there's two different calls in hockey that go for high sticking. One's a penalty and one's you just touch the puck, right? So, as they say, let's do that hockey, Chris. 2 minutes for slashing, going to Grayson Bradley is the call. And St. Onge with the puck. Tries to get across ice to McComb, and then we're going to get a stoppage here on the offside call. 10:31 left in the third period. So this is the third meeting between the two teams, and so far, they've been it's gone North Bay's way.
Almost sounds like a Grand Slam tennis match. The 3 games so far with the scores 6 love, 5-1, and 7-1.
Yeah, it's hasn't been a very good start to the season for Sudbury at all. And you know, this is 3 players that went to Team NOHA at the OHL Cup, and Tyler Thompson and Cade Dubree and Alexander Duguay. So it hasn't gone the way, but maybe they'll get something going their way after they get maybe away from this House of Horrors that is Memorial Gardens for them this weekend. Also the House of Horrors that was their home opener too against this Trappers team.
Yeah, and that was Countryside Arena.
Yeah. Out to boys. Boys at the far side half wall trying to kill some time. 25 seconds left on the man advantage for Sudbury.
Good job by Anthony Boyce.
Yeah, what a play for sure, and the awareness to be able to keep the puck and kill some more time. 15 seconds left on that man advantage. 9:30 left in the third. Lots of checking and scrumming behind the net now. 5 seconds before Bradley's back out on the ice. Trying to shovel the puck up. St. Onge comes in to take it. Or that's Lazarus, rather. Thomason shovels it forward to Boys. And we're back to 5-on-5. North Bay just gets it, chips it down the ice. And it's going to skirt past the net of Ouellette and go for icing. And at 9:03 left, we're going to get a face-off in the North Bay zone.
We're going to, this will be a nice segue. You do such a good job swimmingly, so we'll talk, transition into a story about hockey and swimming, and two former AAA players that both on North Bay and Sudbury that were last year. Albert Boulay played for this Trappers team. He's went to nationals this year in swimming and is going and playing swimming for a club team down in Toronto and playing AA hockey. But you go back a couple years, arguably maybe the best player on this Sudbury age group, a young defenseman named James Bertram, and he was he's quit hockey altogether, and he is a national swimmer as well out of Sudbury. And so that's one of those things with sport. I'll give you another example. There was one of the players last year in 06 that played on the U18 team, Ethan Morris. He was on the OHL Cup team, played on this U18 team for Sudbury. He's a baseball player. Wow. He's going after pursuing, and they have a great facility in Sudbury, and he's training to play baseball. And there's a couple other, I think it's the Bertrand and the Forsyth players as well that are really good baseball players. So, it comes to a point where you got to choose your sport, and unfortunately, baseball's gain in Sudbury is the loss to the Nickel Capitals, and I think with those players, these scores wouldn't be so lopsided.
Dawson on the counterattack for North Bay, tries to drag it around the defender, but he can't. And yeah, just to your point in Sudbury, the Terry Fox Sports Complex that they have there, quickly out front to Russo, who can't get a shot away. Very nice field. It's all turf, and rumor has it it's the former turf of the Rogers Center that they have there. So, you're playing there with some Major League stars played on that turf as well, albeit down in Toronto, not in Sudbury. But yes, nice facility there for the baseball. And of course, you would know about swimming a little bit there, Chris.
And you'd know a little bit about baseball, winning a fall baseball championship this fall in North Bay.
Yeah, I was a bit of a bystander on that team, though. I was just watching them, and Grayson Bradley now coming up. He's going to take the shot. It goes high and out of play, but first year playing baseball in 12 years. The last time I played was grade 11 baseball for the West Ferris Trojans. So thankfully Jacob Brown was gracious enough to let me come back out and play for Eastside Marios. And had my moments, but not too many of them. And hopefully after getting back into it, we'll see a little bit more. But yeah, it was fun to watch. We took down Asante 7-0 in the final game, and our pitcher threw a no-hitter. And you know, Jacob would like to say he's the greatest ball player of all time. Well, he's better than me, but I don't know if he's the greatest ball player of all time. But
I don't know what it is about reclamation baseball projects, but I know that I can also speak firsthand. I played at 50 years young. I played my first senior men's baseball game for Jacob Brown a few years ago, and ironically, the only hit in the 3 games that I played was against a very familiar face on this podcast, the one Matthew Goose Sukram, nice single up between first and second, and so
my first at bat against Matt.
Did he bean you?
No, he did. He claims
threw
it wasn't.
you?
He did throw behind me. 6:41 left here. He claims that he didn't, but he threw at me. He threw at me for sure. He threw at my knees, and I just stared him down after that. But Matt's quite the competitor out there. He doesn't know you. He acts as if
he played
St.
youth sport baseball.
Yeah.
So he is no slouch out there in the field, and you know what, he may not be like a traditional fastball pitcher, but a lot of the guys on your team that I know, when I was got my cup of coffee with your group, they couldn't stand hitting against Matt because his off-speed stuff was very hard for them to catch up on.
Cowell comes in. Back to Gravel. Gravel takes a shot. It goes wide. Yeah, Matt's he's lost a little bit of speed over the years from what I've heard. But the thing with Matt's stuff is that where he pitches from, because it's with the turf, is once the ball comes off the turf and onto the dirt where the batter's box is, it feels like it just slows right down. So, but yeah, no, he threw at me, so I stared him down a little bit. And the only time I really talked to him on the field was I was playing second base, and he came and stole second base, and I was holding the ball, and I dared him to get up and off the base so I could tag him out, but he didn't take the bait. He's too smart for that. Gravel with a shot, it's blocked away. But yeah, it's just last thing I'll say about that. It was nice to get the win and get a championship under our belts. And Jacob told me at the end of Summer League, we lost in the semifinals to Matt's team, who would go on to lose in the finals to Asante. He said to me, no, don't worry about it, Courtney. Like, he knows that I'm not as confident in my game. This is Jacob talking. And he says, don't worry, we'll go and win a championship together at some point. And I didn't expect it to be in Fall League, but there it is. So very grateful for the opportunity as Sudbury gets a chance here. Quickly, puck through a bunch of skates. Dawson and Dawson going up looking for the hat trick. Overskates the puck a little bit through the neutral zone. Thomason back to the blue line.
This is Kane Savage with a nice move.
Yeah.
But good to see him get out there. He was the one who had that knee-on-knee with Dubroy at one point.
Lefebvre just skating circles around the offensive zone, leaves it. And quickly they try to get it back out front, but they can't get it to go. That was Savage with a good attempt to get it out front.
Beck's got to move his feet there. Good effort by Jesse Lefebvre, almost stripping the puck from him, but get into that neutral zone. They call it the speed zone for a reason. You got to be moving your feet.
Yep. Shawana skates the puck around the back of the net. It's always great, too, when you guys are playing Timmins, because they got a Jacob Brown on their team, so I always take my swipes at Jake on those games. He sent me a video clip that he was sent of me taking a shot at him live on a Voodoo's broadcast, actually. He thought it was pretty funny. So, I then made a comment to Bob during that game that, this just in, I've been cut from my baseball team, but we're still good, so. 3:40 left on the clock here in the third period. 7-1, Trappers lead. Looking for one more maybe here as Heath Bradley skates after the puck. Shawana.
Goal scorers so far. Caleb Dawson with 2. Nate Gravel, Josh Curry, Caden Cowell, and Jacob Beamer. And for Sudbury, it was Morris.
from Carson Crane. That's the only blemish so far on Mike McIver.
I wish that they had a shot calculator here, but it's got to be in the 30s for McIver. They've definitely thrown enough rubber his way. Puck's back to Cowell, goes cross ice for Bradley. And Bradley
That's a real nice save by Kieran Willett, who's made a couple good saves. Despite the lopsided score, he's made a couple real good saves.
Cowell looks to go cross ice for his teammates that were changing. Shot comes in and Ouellette stops that one. And last thing I will say about the baseball, though, is I got to say credit where credit's due. Jacob Brown and Curtis Winrow have really done a good job of keeping baseball alive in North Bay. Jacob on the men's side, Curtis on the North Bay Baseball Association side of things. Where it seemed like attendance was dwindling a bit. We're up to 6 teams in Summer League now and 4 teams in Fall League, so for men's league. So that's it's a healthy league, and they've had some out-of-town teams come and compete in tournaments as well. So it's just great what they've been able to do with North Bay Baseball.
The Frontline Baseball cast is probably the next thing that's coming up.
Well, we are looking to branch out for different sports. I know I don't want to give too much away, but I know Derek's looking at doing a golf thing for us, so hopefully we can get that off the ground. Maybe we'll have a music minute with Ben. That's not sports, but he does like his music. Cowell, trip to the ice. He's really excited about the big Blink 182 reunion that's happening. Although I've seen a lot of people online complain about the ticket prices for that a little bit. Shot comes in. It's blocked. North Bay tries another attempt. It goes wide of the net. We will be bringing you 3 stars of the game afterwards by Dave's Automotive. Crane comes in with a shot. McIver saves it.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
So we'll be bringing it up after the game, of course. Whoever the 3 stars are, they don't actually choose one here, so I'll use my expertise, my hockey general manager's expertise next to me, Chris Dawson, who can help me out with picking the 3 stars. Seems like he's already scribbled down a couple of names there. I have to say, I would probably agree with what he's got scribbled down. We'll bring that to you here in the next minute and a half as the game is wrapping up. Lefebvre with a good stick knocks that one away. And gets it back out behind the net to Dawson. And I got to say, the first time I ever saw Caleb, he was just, tiny kid, probably 11 years old at the time. And now I see him where he is at 16 and how tall he is. Like, my goodness, he's taller than the linesman that he's skating with right now. He's got quite the growth spurt. Chris, where did he get that from?
You know what? I think both sides of the family. Leanne's brother's a pretty big guy. He's well over, I think, 6'2". So my uncle in Germany, he's over 6'2". So, anyways, it is weird looking at him down. Like even Mike Brown, our videographer, said from seeing him back in August when with the Voodoos at training camp to now. So.
Yep.
So should we do the 3 stars now?
No.
Should we wait till one? You never know what'll happen in the next minute 7.
We'll wait, yeah, because we'll wait till the end of the game and then we'll talk about them. But yeah, our players to watch in this one were Sam Levesque and Michael McIver, and I think Michael McIver's done everything in his power to obviously suffocate Sudbury in this one. Levesque, he's had a couple of opportunities, but not too many, and it's a little bit tough in a 1-goal game for them. Now Bradley, as it's a 3-on-1 effort here for the Trappers. He takes the shot, and boy, he's tried to bat it in. Trying to look like some baseball players, but unfortunately, like Vlad Guerrero, struck out on that one. I'm still angry about the Jays.
Hey, at least Houston rocketed past Seattle,
oh my God, yeah.
And you got to see the collapse. You got to see the collapse from the other perspective, where Seattle ended up taking the collapse of a big lead and giving it up in game one. Game 1, yes.
It was nice to see Robbie Ray get lit up for that one too. 3 seconds left, and that'll about do it here. Sudbury can't get out of North Bay quick enough. It's a 7-1 final, and North Bay outscoring them all together 12-1 over these 2 games. So North Bay, in convincing fashion, picking up their 3rd win of the season. They're 3-0. They'll next be in action in the league against the Sudbury U16 Capitals in Powassan on October 29th, but they'll be in action next weekend as they go to the Clash in the YGK in Kingston. That's the 21st to 23rd, so we won't be bringing you that, but we'll be back in action with the Trappers here on the 29th. But quickly, we'll get to our 3 stars here.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
So your 3 stars, Courtney, we're going to start off with the 3rd star with his CCM stock stick, Caleb Dawson with 2 goals, including a power play tally and a game winner again in this 7-1 victory. We give him the 3rd star. 2nd star, Mike McIver, the battalion prospect, very solid. Only 1 goal against again. Made a number of key saves. Active stick, played the puck really well. So we'll give him the 2nd star. And the 1st star, a guy who comes to work every day. And I got to tell you, on Friday night, this player was told, if you play for the Voodoos tonight as an affiliate, you may never get a shift. Do you want to come play? And Justin Russo, he said yes. And you know what? He came to work that night, and he came to work on this Sunday afternoon at Memorial Gardens. Just the 1 assist, but did all the little things right. And I give him the 1st star today, and love the effort that he gives as the captain of the U18 Trappers. And he's our 1st star. It's not always the points, Courtney.
No, it isn't. And he's been impressive these last little while. And again, with Mike McIver, Cash Money doing his part, only allowing 2 goals over these 2 games. And, you know, back-to-back in less than 24 hours isn't always that easy if you're a goaltender. But McIver came to play here with these couple of games and really enjoyed watching him in these 2 games. And, of course, Dawson. Well, Caleb, my message to you is once you start paying the bills, then you can buy your new sticks, right? So, Chris, really appreciate you being here along for the ride here for the back half of the back-to-back.
Well, the guy who I'm filling in for is sadly watching his football team lose, so he might have, in hindsight, would have rather been here. But There's no place I would rather be, Courtney, than in this seat right now. Thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate having you along for the ride. It's always nice to get your insight, and always nice to pick the brains of a general manager of a hockey team and what he looks for when he's looking for talent, especially when it's a team like the U18 Trappers who's done such a great job this year so far, really kind of cementing their place here in the Great North Midget Hockey League. So with that being said, that'll do it for the front line here. I'm Courtney Kenny. He was Chris Dawson. And as always, keep your eye on the front line.
Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things. Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.